What do we got? What do we got? What do we got? Steve Erceg, aka Michael Scott, versus Kai Kara-France. Okay, this is gonna be a good one. It's a really good one. Kai Kara-France, Steve Erceg. These are some good strikers, and I think that'll make for a really good fight. Kai Kara-France, after not fighting for a year, is coming back to the octagon. I think it's more than a year, but he's coming to do some damage. And Steve Erceg, after losing a heartbreaker against Alexandre Pantoja, even though I did predict Pantoja to win that fight, doing what he normally does, which is eat punches and then go for a takedown right after his opponent is done striking. And he'll continue to do that, and that's why I think Alexandre Pantoja is going to be probably the flyweight GOAT. He might beat Demetrius Johnson for the flyweight GOAT, depending upon how long his chin holds up for. But anyway, back to the main idea for this video. Kai Kara-France versus Steve Erceg. This is going to be a good one. And Steve, I mean, the key to figuring out who wins this fight and how this fight is going to go is Kai Kara-France's fight against Brandon Moreno. I believe it was the second fight, in which Brandon Moreno uses what Brandon Moreno is known for. It's boxing. Going up against a guy like Kai Kara-France with those heavy hooks and heavy shots that he throws, you got to be a good boxer. And that's exactly what the fuck Steve Erceg is, aka Michael Scott. That's what he is. That's what he showcased against Alexandre Pantoja, and that's what he showcased against other fighters when he was low in the rankings. So yeah, I mean, there isn't really like much to analyze when I put this together, because Erceg's gonna really just utilize his boxing and outclass Kai Kara-France. A lot of people have Kai Kara-France winning this fight, and while I do respect everyone's opinion, I gotta ask why. Because going off of Steve Erceg's fight against Alexandre Pantoja, I can certify to myself and I can certify to you guys that Steve Erceg is a future UFC legend. This guy's boxing, his chin, his mentality, him as a person, everything about him is lovable, man. You know, and again, because to be a legend in the sport, especially in the UFC, you can't just rely on skills alone. You gotta also rely on the face. You gotta rely on the personality, the star power, the moxie, all that shit, you know. So yeah, I believe Steve Erceg's got it. And after this win against Kai Kara-France, depending upon how Steve Erceg wins, though, let's say Steve Erceg knocks out Kai Kara-France in round 1 or 2, aka if he knocks him out early, which I don't really think is going to happen, but let's say it happens, you could make an arguable case for Steve Erceg getting a rematch against Pantoja, and soon. Although I don't think it's going to happen. If I had to give you guys a direct, like a direct prediction, like for sure, I know this shit is going to happen, I'm going to go with Steve Erceg. I'm going to go with a Steve Erceg TKO in the final round. I'm going to make this one spicy. I could say Steve Erceg by decision, but I've been giving too many fighters decision wins off these last few videos. But yeah, Steve Erceg, I think, is going to outclass Kai Kara, and then Kai Kara might, you know, leave his chin or liver open for a really devastating shot in the final round. And I think Steve Erceg's going to go for it because he was a bit hesitant against Alexandre Pantoja, especially in those final rounds, and I think he may learn from that. And I think Steve Erceg is going to learn to really go for it near the end of the fight. And I feel like this will be his first showcasing of that. I think he'll be able to bring that and utilize that in his rematch against Pantoja. I won't tell you who I have in that fight if Erceg was to fight Pantoja again. But for this fight, what I'm telling you guys is that Steve Erceg is going to outclass Kai Kara-France. He will. I love Kai Kara-France. I consider him to be a really good fighter. But given, again, the cage rush, there's a lot of things going against him. But what I'm really like trying to utilize and point out to you guys that really goes against Kai Kara-France is the powerful and knowledgeable boxing of Steve Erceg, aka Michael Scott. I'm going to refer to him as Michael Scott a lot, especially when I go live for this fight. And I don't really know if I'll go live for the main event at 305 because I've got too much skin in the game with being an Adesanya fan. But I'll see. I'll see about it. Anyway, that's my quick prediction for the winner of Steve Erceg versus Kai Kara-France. Steve Erceg will outclass Kai Kara-France, utilizing his boxing, just piecing Kai Kara up, and then probably leaving Kai Kara open, or probably getting Kai Kara to be open. Whether that's leaving his chin out or his liver out for a nice, precise, and decisive shot from Steve Erceg to finish the fight in the final round. Steve Erceg will go for it and finish the fight. What the fuck do you motherfuckers think? Let me know in the comments. Love y'all.